Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Imperfect Marketing. I'm your host, Kendra Corman, and today I am joined by Tom Amate. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Tom is an expert in marketing automation, boasting over a decade of experience in generating growth for tech companies. As the CEO and co founder of Entail AI, he has assisted companies such as Top10.com, Mayu Water, and Upstep in generating scalable and authentic marketing strategies through content, SEO, and automation. Welcome. Thanks so much for joining me today.
Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure.
So let's go ahead and jump right in. What are the most common organic marketing mistakes that you're seeing brands make?
That's a good question. I guess today it's mostly around AI, because that's the hot potato, right? That's what's trending. And I think right now, I mean, I would expect this to change already, but it still is the case. I still get emails from some people about that. People are just generating a lot of content with AI, and you would expect them to understand by now that if you're trying to be a big company, want to be a big company, and you're using the same tools exactly like anyone on the street could, then you probably don't have an edge. And in marketing, you want to get above the noise. And if you're doing what everybody else is doing, including people who have like no means whatsoever, then you're probably doing it wrong. And I think that's pretty much the biggest mistake that I see right now brands doing. I'm not saying not to use AI in your marketing. There's many ways to use AI, like to get ahead there. But if you're just generating cheap content with ChatGPT or any one of the other tools that are using ChatGPT, then you can stop. You know.
Yeah, I agree with you. I love AI. I'm a huge fan of AI. It saves me on average about 30 hours a week, which is crazy, right? But yeah, you don't just have AI generate all your content and just
Yeah.
have it say, "What would you answer this question as?" and then just copy and paste it. It just You're right. There's no differentiation. That's what I keep trying to tell people when they're like, I'm just going to have AI do all this for me. It's like,
Yeah.
no, don't do that.
Right. Exactly. I mean, you can really use it. I mean, everybody almost uses it now, and of course, it's embedded in many of the products that we use, from search to design and whatever. Um, But if all you're bringing to the table is the content that the AI generated, then you're not bringing much. If I can get the same answers on ChatGPT, why would I go to your website? Why would Google go to your website? So just give you an example. Just recently spoke with a company. They're called Flow.health. I think they're the largest app for women in the world. Okay, and they have about 8 million visitors a month, like uniques to their website, and most of it is organic, just comes from their content. And a content piece, like the life cycle, or like the creation of content piece, from when they start till it's published, for them is about 2 months. If you ask me, that's too long, right? But but just to explain, because they are speaking about health related topics, okay? So you wouldn't want to just get the answer from ChatGPT, even if 80% of it is correct. You would want to have a correct answer with like a reputable person, probably a doctor, or like some kind of physician or a nurse, or I don't know what the qualification is that has to do with the topic at hand. But that's pretty much the point. Like, you want to have content that provides value. Information is everywhere. You can find a lot of information on ChatGPT, but if you ask me about health related topics, I have no idea. Really have no idea. So it doesn't help if I go to ChatGPT and I know, like, ask some questions, bring some answers. There's no value there.
Yeah, it can help speed up a lot of things. It can help with an ugly first draft or ideas. You can brainstorm with it.
Mm-hmm.
It's really revolutionizing content marketing. But I think, again, so many people are using it to their detriment by, again, just copying
Yeah.
and pasting and figuring out that this is going to work, and it
Yeah.
doesn't.
Yeah. You can also see that, with all the with all the hype in the market and all that, like ChatGPT is going to destroy Google, etc., etc. Google hasn't been affected by it almost. I mean, they haven't lost traffic because of ChatGPT. ChatGPT kind of like flatlined. I mean, so we are using ChatGPT. It is great, okay, it's not replacing Google. It's something new. Okay, there's like like social media has different platforms for different people, different needs, etc., preferences, and so on. So ChatGPT is more like an assistant. It doesn't replace search, for example. Okay, so there's many ways of using it, but let's not use it wrong.
Yeah. It doesn't replace search and it doesn't replace you, your experience and your expertise and your knowledge and everything else that goes with it, right? So I think that that's really important.
Right.
So if somebody's looking to prioritize SEO, organic marketing, what are you recommending that they do?
So I mean, SEO, I always say, is divided into, like in general, you can divide it into two, okay? Or let's say three. One is you have to have a proper website, okay? You can't just do SEO. These days, you can't rank for like a competitive topic if you don't have a proper website. You can't rank with just a landing page, okay? Check out almost every search that you do. The websites that rank are reputable websites, okay? So first of all, you have to have a proper website. Then you have to make sure that this website is built correctly, technically, etc. This is the technical side of SEO. Both of these things, I would say, are about 10 to 20% of your SEO efforts. Okay, that's all. All the rest is content. All the rest is content. Okay, there are other signals, like if you really have a very good brand, and there's signals from social media and links, etc. If you reach that point where you're like a very big brand, you probably also have content. I haven't seen any significant website that doesn't have a blog. I haven't seen till now. Okay. So it's mostly about content. So you need to create a lot of content. Yeah, use AI. It's great. But the content has to be high quality, especially now. If we had an inflation of content before ChatGPT, now it's a hyperinflation of content. So you need to go for quality, go for gold, don't go for printed money. Okay, you need to really have gold. So if so, today, in order to succeed in SEO, you need to create a lot of content, and your content has to be super high quality. Otherwise, it's not helpful. If it's not helpful, Google's probably not going to index it. Maybe they're going to index it now, but they won't index it in the future. And SEO is a long-term game. Okay, so that's pretty much 80% of the work is content.
No, that makes a lot of sense. I think so. I've been listening to so many people talking about social media and how much content you have to be creating. And like one of my clients was telling me that they want to do more social media, and I said, "Great." I said, "You need to be doing 7 to 15 reels and stories a week." And they're like, "Well, that's a lot of work." I'm like, "Yeah,
Right.
because." So many people are creating so much content, I think, with AI that's sort of bland that in order to stand out a little bit in the noise, you actually have to create value added content and you've got to create a lot of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like you need to be publishing either often or really thorough, in depth content,
Yeah,
But again, all of it has to be quality and that's the key. I
it
mean,
has.
it's a full time job.
It is, and that's really the influencer economy that we're seeing. Where just boring content doesn't cut it anymore, and you need to bring yourself. And that's what's so difficult for businesses, because today, as an individual, you have more power than the big brands. Because for the big brands, the challenge really is that they're competing with influencers. I mean, when it comes to paid, they're competing with big brands. So they're going like toe to toe. They know what they're doing there. Okay, like they're fighting with their equals in a way. But then on social media, and it becomes more and more also in SEO, they're not competing with themselves like with their peers. They're competing with individuals, people with expertise, with charisma, with like that are willing to put in the time and the effort. Most of the influencers are not making money. Just maybe the 1%. Most of them aren't making money, just spending their time. And for the big brands, in order to compete with influencers, they need to bring in the expertise and the charisma and pretty much the set of skills that their C level have. Okay. So, and these people are too busy, their time is too expensive, etc. So they can't really compete with influencers. So they go and they buy the traffic from the influencers. They pay influencers. This is paid just like any other form of paid marketing. Super expensive, by the way. Can't guarantee results. Not very predictable. It takes a lot of skill to turn influencer marketing into a predictable channel for your business. So that's really the challenge. Influencers are basically taking over in terms of content creation and all the traffic that is not just personal content stuff. And brands either need to buy it from them, or on very, very, very rare occasions, you can see brands that create content at the level that can compete with influencers. Usually, it's going to be quite expensive for them. I just saw yesterday Expedia's YouTube channel. I mean, they're creating like super high quality videos. I was surprised, and I'm kind of thinking about that. Are they seeing ROI from that? Because like they're showing, what was it? Travel in Portugal, I think it was, and about the cuisine in Portugal and all that. I mean, interesting, pretty good. The video itself, okay. But I'm thinking, Expedia. There's no call to action there. This doesn't make me go and buy a flight ticket off of Expedia because I saw the video. It's a brand move, okay, and it's quite expensive. And connecting that to ROI is like close to impossible. So that's a huge public company, etc. But for other brands to create content like that without really being able to even measure ROI, I mean, that's pretty challenging, I'd say.
Yeah. No, it definitely is. I always branded myself as a recession style marketer because I always wanted tactics that were going to drive results and had an ROI. And I believed in branding. I still believe in branding, but investing millions of dollars into branding without any ROI is it can sometimes be a struggle for me because I really want to see a result, right? Eventually.
Yeah.
So let's continue our talk on channels. We're talking about influencers and we're talking about it's expensive. We're talking about brand building with potentially, no direct ROI, just a big investment.
Hmm.
What's one underutilized growth channel that you think more brands should be tapping into?
Utilized. I can tell you about one channel that we're really focused on, and also one of our like our new products, um, is the blog traffic itself. What we've realized, I mean, working with brands, doing organic and all that. In the beginning, we were just focused on helping brands generate organic traffic through content creation, how to scale up the process, how to create quality content, and so on. But then we've seen, I mean, like I said, all the websites pretty much have a blog. So I would say 70% of the websites start a blog and then they stop because it doesn't work for them. The rest continue, and maybe 5% generate significant traffic. But even the big brands, and we're talking like unicorns and companies like like 7-digit brands, they don't convert traffic from their blog. Or maybe you could say maybe just a little bit. They do it for authority, it promotes their brand, etc., etc. They're not converting the traffic. So you would see brands um, in insurance, in HR, and many many other fields like big ones with hundreds of thousands of visitors to their website and to their blog, I mean, and no conversions. And so you invested the money, you're getting the traffic, you're showing the numbers, basically what they're showing, the reports that they show usually track positions and so on. Like we say, you can't go with positions to the supermarket, nobody buys position. You can't sell positions. It's just a figure. Um, but they're not showing conversions, and they keep investing in that. So I would say that's definitely one of the most unleveraged or unrealized channels because you have a lot of traffic and it can be converted. It's just a little bit difficult. Okay, that's what a new product solves. But that's if you already have the traffic, convert it. So that's definitely underutilized.
Yeah, and if you're creating the content, it should be working for you, right? It's not
Yeah,
just there
I
to
mean
be there.
the challenge is really where you create a lot of content for SEO, then you need to build authority. And so you cannot just speak about yourself or your brand or your core value proposition because that's just the bottom of the funnel. You need to build authority. You need to create content for all the steps of the funnel. So by definition, if that's the funnel, most of your content is at the upper parts of the funnel where there's more volume, where there's more topics, etc. And this content converts less. So if you have a lot of traffic to your blog, again, by definition, it means that you have like at a minimum hundreds of pages. Websites have thousands of pages as well, a lot of which are upper funnel pages, where the revenue per user, RPV, the revenue per user, is quite low. So you can't really invest in converting that traffic. Usually, when companies do conversion rate optimization, they focus on a small number of pages where they send paid traffic to, So high traffic, small number of pages, and they optimize those pages. In SEO, you end up with hundreds or thousands of pages, and the traffic is distributed across many, many, many different pages. So you have a lot of pages with little traffic, as opposed to small number of pages with a lot of traffic. And the number of potential user journeys on these pages is insane. If you like ask ChatGPT if a user journey is 5 steps, and I have 1,000 pages, each page has about 20 or 30 links. How many user journeys there are? You get to a number with like 10 zeros after it. Okay, so it's impossible to optimize, and that's exactly the problem that we're solving, because as I said, it's an untapped traffic source, or it's an existing traffic source more accurately, um, and companies are just not leveraging it because of that difficulty of having to optimize hundreds or thousands of pages and having to funnel all that traffic towards like your conversion pages. So that's really where we're focused on.
Okay. So tell me a little bit more about Entail AI and what it is that you're doing with that.
So we say Entail AI is about increasing traffic and then converting it, and we're looking at the organic channels, because even I just saw this very interesting article, this research that they've done, a subsidiary company of SEMrush, I think it was. They've done research showing that out of 1,000 searches on Google, only about 370 leave Google in the US. The numbers vary slightly between the US and Europe. So let's say 37%, or let's say 73%. No, not 73, it's 63%, right? 63% of the traffic stays on Google, never leaves Google. Either clicks an ad, or just, stop searching or searches again, but doesn't leave Google. So you'd say, wow, Google is a monopoly. And that's true. But Google has probably around 8 to 10 billion searches per day. Almost 40% of that is still a lot of traffic. It is a lot of traffic. So that's the opportunity. And there's a lot of traffic to be, to get from Google. So we say, like I said, increase traffic, then convert it. So as I said, if you have a proper website and it's technically okay, it is mostly about creating content. And while most CMS platforms, like content management systems, are built for developers to enable building websites easily, whether it's WordPress, Shopify, and different CMSs that are like headless CMS where you can build pages. They're built for developers. But your the content team ends up working in Google Docs. And it's like all over the place, very difficult to manage. So we built a CMS plugin. It connects to any existing CMS, and it really streamlines all the content creation process, from formulating the topics you want to target, like we use AI for that to choose the topics, to create outlines for experts. So we have like domain experts that create the content, and then we edit the content with AI, and then it goes through all the review steps, because serious companies usually have several review steps, several stakeholders that need to approve the content. So you have the SEO person, and you have the expert, and you have the fact checker, and the reviewer, and the tone checker, etc. So it streamlines all the process through all the stakeholders, and then from there it's published directly to your website. And streamlining that process enables you to create a lot of high quality at scale, while reducing all the friction that creates a lot of extra cost. So that's one side of our platform, the CMS plugin. The other side is the Entail CRO, Entail Conversion Rate Optimization, which is what I said. You build all this content, you publish all this content, you end up with thousands of pages that you cannot optimize. And that's a really, really cool conversion rate optimization software, where you can embed widgets with calls to actions in your articles. What we've seen is that if you build articles, if the articles are done correctly, okay, and you add calls to actions, links, widgets, etc., in the text itself, as long as they're relevant, not too salesy, as long as they're relevant, you can easily get above 45% click-through rate from visitor to clicking an item on the page. And so if you really optimize those pages, and you make sure that the calls to actions are relevant to the reader, and they send them to the next logical step in their journey towards completing your marketing goal, i.e., sign up, start a free trial, book a demo, buy a product, etc. If you're funneling them to the next step, you can really increase conversions from all that like huge tree of content that you built. So one part is the CMS, the other part is the CRO software, where you can just embed widgets very, very easily, and the system A/B tests those widgets, measures the results, and improves conversion rate on the website.
I really like that. I like talking about, embedding things that are relevant, right? And
Yeah,
I mean, 45% click through rates, I mean, that's huge. But
yeah,
if you're creating content and it's relevant, and the next link is relevant, you're moving them through the funnel or through their journey with stuff that you've already created.
yeah,
I
and
think a
that's
lot of people create a lot more content than they really need because, again, it's not converting.
mhm. And an interesting aspect of it as well is that, I mean, I've done the same. Like we all want to do video now, because video is the thing, right? The thing is that video and also audio, it's much more difficult to drive a person to take an action from a video or an audio. Okay. First of all, let's talk about shorts, so then the highest ROI in terms of views is usually in shorts. The thing is that shorts is like popcorn. I mean, you never just eat one, right? So it's built to get you hooked and to watch another one, another one, another one. There's almost no opportunities to add links there. There's the link in bio. Who really clicks there? So if you want to get somebody to watch your video and take an action, usually you'll have to be super interesting. And what will happen is you'll get them interested, and they'll leave the platform and Google whatever you're selling or promoting. They'll Google it and they'll go to your website. You'll see an increase in branded searches. With branded searches, the best in terms of conversion. But in order to get somebody to leave the platform, it's a really hard job. So you have to reach a lot of people because the conversion rate between viewers to people leaving the platform and Googling your business is quite low. Whereas if you look at written content, when you read an article, the behavior is that you click links. That's the expected behavior, unlike videos where you just want to like sit back and watch or scroll through to the next short, right? In text, you click links. Not only that you click links, if the articles are done correctly, I mean, we've seen articles that get over 100% click-through rate. People click several links in the article because it's very relevant, because it's very helpful. And so over there, it's much easier to get to conversion. And what you see is also, if you look at, let's say you look at an influencer campaign. So you're selling headphones, and you have this tech influencer that says that your headphones are the best, etc. So you'll get a video that got, I don't know, like 100,000 hits. And out of that, you'll get maybe like 1,000 or 2,000 hits on your website. So just the conversion rate between the views and the website visits is quite low. And also take into account that that influencer that managed to get like 100,000 hits on the bottom of the funnel content had to probably work for a few years creating content that's not bottom of the funnel, that doesn't pay the bills. And so if you want to own if you want to be that influencer as a brand, which you should, by the way, just take into account that the numbers, if you compare that social media content and SEO, are very favorable towards SEO in terms of ROI. Because eventually, to get those video views and to get the views that actually convert and send traffic to your website is much more work, much more money than driving traffic through SEO and getting a click on a link to send people further down the funnel.
Very good. Very interesting. I'll definitely
Yeah.
be checking out Entail AI. We'll have a link to it in the show notes, so be sure to check it out. Um, Now, before I let you go, because again, this has been very interesting. I love it. I love talking about the use of AI correctly. I love talking about conversions. I love talking about converting people and moving them through their journey.
Mhm.
So, but before I let you go, this show is called Imperfect Marketing because marketing is anything but a perfect science. What
Mhm.
has been your biggest marketing lesson learned?
Um, I think I think it was the first when I just started out. We were building a ride sharing app. It was like before Uber and all that. Um, and the biggest lesson, I mean, I've learned a lot from this. So we built the app, and like long story short, we built the app. Then we tried to do this pilot in a community where they kind of like drive to the same place and all that. And long story short, nobody used it. Not a single person. I mean, my partner was just showing people how to use it. He ended up like teaching like seniors how to use mobile phones because that's the people who came up to him. It just nobody used it, and then we just I back then I read the Lean Startup. It was a thing back then, this book, and it just clicked. And then we just did an experiment, and we got people to use the product. We said, okay, let's change direction, completely change the product. Before we do, let's try to get people to sign up to the product. We just got them through Facebook groups, etc. Published with this, we do this and that, and we published a few links, and let's send them to a page where they could sign up. And then it said that the server broke down and it's not working. Sorry. And we saw people signing up, and from there we changed everything. From there we learned to first run experiments before we build anything, and we do it till now. Okay, we test everything, we see the traction before we build it, and I think that's pretty much a lesson that changed everything I do since.
I love that lesson. That is very strong and very powerful because I just think a lot of people think I'm going to build it and they will come, and they don't, because we didn't
They don't.
build something that they can actually use or something that they want sometimes. And, fingers crossed for the best of us, right? So
Yeah.
thank you so much, Tom, for your time today. Again, we'll have a link to his company in the show notes, so be sure to check that out. In the meantime, if you learned anything today, it would really help us out if you would rate and subscribe wherever you're listening and watching. Until next time, have a great rest of your day.